Welcome, dear viewers, to a new episode of Dialogue Horizon. In this episode, as we covered last time, the political situation. As we all know, that Sudan is now threatened by the economic collapse and the political upheaval and turmoil which is still going on. In this episode, we will dedicate the whole episode to the economic issue. And some people, like the ambassador, the American ambassador and Volker, they issued a statement, very alarming statements yesterday in the media that Sudan is at the brink or verge of economic and security collapse, which is really alarming coming from these two knowledgeable people and political people. It is really alarming. So last time we covered the political issue. We hope that next week when we come, we'll talk about the political issue and we have a solid government. That's why we are dedicating this episode to the economic aspect, and that's why we are honored to host one of our guests, one of our friends, who is very knowledgeable and he's very active in the field, the academic field and the political field, let us say, but primarily in the economic section. Professor Hanoun, known to us. Last week we talked with Hanoun on the same issue. This time with Samani Hanoun, we'll talk about his real specialization, direct right in them, not political now. This is in your domain. So welcome our friend Dr. Samani Hanoun for being with us in this episode.
Thanks to Dialogue Horizon and especially to Engineer Abu Haras for this opportunity to highlight this most hot issue today and the most important statement released by the two leaders, the Volkers and U.S. ambassador, of economic collapse and security collapse in the country. Actually, this is something warning and something very anxious to the majority of Sudanese people. Thanks for this opportunity, and as you know, economists do it with model, and they have rational expectations. Thanks for this.
Thank you, Associate Professor Samani Hanoun. So let us start by the most recent issue, which is the unexpected and astonishing, at the same time, reduction, the decision of the government to reduce the prices of the fuel in the stations. First of all, it is definitely unexpected because the Minister of Finance is working hard to collect as much as possible money. He clearly has shortage in money. They changed the customs rate, the dollar rate, and increased so many. They are looking for dear money.
Yeah.
So it is astonishing because at this time it is something good for the people.
Yeah.
They made a reduction in the fuel last week. So do you think that this is it correct? Is it timely? What effect will it reduce some of the agony of the people of the high prices, the skyrocketing prices of the all commodities and transportation and, in cities? So will it affect, do some major effect on this issue and on the prices of the commodities, especially the commodities prices which come inland from different production areas like fruits, vegetables? They come and the prices are high because of the prices of the fuel. Can you elaborate and tell us about the whole issue?
Yeah, definitely this is a unique case, an abnormal case in the pricing system. If we flash back the history of prices in Sudan, you can easily discover the increasing pattern of prices in economics. Since last 2 decades, prices are increasing in market due to high inflation in the economy. But to decline these prices by government decision, this is implies some central facts. One fact is still the government intervene in market and influence prices in market. And the second fact, that means the government is still hunting abnormal profit from trading in fuel, whether benzene or gasoline. They are hunting high profits in market due to the excessive taxes by the government. So these are two facts maintained from the decision to decrease the prices of benzene and gasoline in market during the last few days. This actually result in tremendous impact. One fact that lowering the prices of the fuel would result in lowering the transport cost, which is one of main components in the economy. And you know, most of the means of transport, they use the fuel, whether gasoline or benzene or in other types of the fuel, that would result in lowering the cost of transport that will be reflected in the cost of production in the economy. And this should, in turn, should influence inflation in the economy. And the prices should go down accordingly or proportionally according to the drop in prices. So I think the decisions by government to decline or to decrease the prices of fuel in Sudan will have some positive impact on inflation, on the production. Cost of production will be lower. The total GDP will be flourished and increased according to this national or aggregate economic decisions that influence on all sectors in the economy. So by all means, this is positive trend, and the government should take this path in order to lower rate of inflation in the economy. And also that will increase the cost of production in the economy. And finally, will support the GDP in the economy by lowering the cost of transport in the economy. So the decision by all means represent a positive step towards recovering the economy, the deteriorated positions of the economy, and emphasize one central fact, that is still the government has power or hand on the prices in market, and that is actually against the liberalization policy in the economy. So prices in the economy, whether if it is liberalized, should be determined by market forces, supply and demand, rather than government intervention. So now government intervene in market and decrease the prices. So that will emphasize the fact that still government is active in the market and influence the prices in market, and that is against the policies of the liberalizations of market, and also has some positive impact, although reduce the cost of transport in the economy, but in the other way will harm the economic liberalization policy, because in liberal economy, government should not intervene in market forces, and supply should be subject to supply and demand and market forces. Exogenous interference of government can influence the prices and also disturb the mechanism of market forces to determine prices in market and to allocate resources in the community. So this is one, has two sides. One positive side that will reduce the cost of production, and the negative side will disturb the mechanism of supply and demand in market.
Okay, from where do you think the government is going to bridge the gap of reduction of the prices of the fuel? Because government already in trouble, in deep trouble, local money here in meeting the demands of governance, like infrastructure, people are afraid about this reduction. They might
it is well known to
go to other things. You have to compensate.
Yeah, government will take the easy way, printing currency actually, and the new currency will be launched to the market.
Which is very bad.
This is very bad. Okay, again,
it's very bad.
And as you see, as the government decrease, the prices should be decreased in the market. But you will find other result. Prices will increase because of printing currency. Government print more currency in order to fill the gap.
It's something like a vicious circle.
Vicious circle, absolutely.
What do you think? What is the best, the proper way to stop this, to break the vicious circle of reducing, increasing salaries? Nothing, for example, now many groups or trade unions are threatening, like the electricity bargaining, and they have the power of the strike, like power the electricity.
We mentioned several times, but couples of times, that this way is strategically wrong. Government always tend to increase salaries in order to meet the increasing prices in market, which is totally wrong and strategically wrong. The right direction, government should target the value of national currency, should work very hard in order to appreciate the national of Sudanese pound in market. By package of policies, monetary and fiscal policy should work in harmony to achieve this strategic goal to appreciate the value of Sudanese pound in market. That will serve the interest of all Sudanese people equally.
Can you give viewers to...
Now, let us take one direct solution for this very stagnant position in the economy. We have to increase reserves in bank. As we are main producers of gold, why we don't build reserve in central bank in order to back the national currency? And at the same time, we have to arrange to change the currency in the economy in order to retract currency to the banking system and to control by monetary policy. Central bank cannot control money now because most of the money supply outside the banking system. So we need to retract money through changing currency. And also, we need to link our national currency to the gold.
Gold.
Yeah, we can cover the national currency of Sudanese pound by, let us, 10% to be covered by gold. That will back the national currency and recover the lost credibility of money in the international market. So these two are important and mandatory for recovery of the creditors of the money or Sudanese pound, and also the appreciation of value of national currency. By linking or covering the gold, the Sudanese currency by gold, we will make total solution for inflation in the economy. And you know, gold historically creates recession, not inflation. So by linking currency to the gold, we will solve the problem of inflation in the economy. And we will make real value for national, for Sudanese pound. That is the best way to solve the problem, to build reserves in central bank, as you are main producer of gold, by the way. You have the gold.
You have the gold.
So why you don't build reserve in central bank? And why you don't link your currency to the gold? And again, why you don't change the currency in order to retract money to the banking sector?
Forfeited money, the money embedded, the money forfeited. There are printing
money will not solve the problem. And at the end of the day, the government will fail to meet the chapter 1 in budget, which is salaries. Now it is more than 150 billion. From only 375 billions rose dramatically to 150 billions. That means all budget goes to the salaries.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. So where is the chapter 3 and chapter 4 for development?
This is very interesting. Maybe we'll come at the end of the episode, we might come back to this issue because it is very important if we have time. But the second question, which is all very important and very alarming, because the Minister of Finance said they are now, next month will be the start of preparation for the budget of 2023. And the Minister of the Finance stated that the coming budget will not involve and will not be, it will not include foreign money, any foreign assistance or loans. So for the first time maybe in the history of Sudan, the budget of the country appears and will be passed without foreign money. And everybody knows any budget, even this 2022, when it's set, it is set with a deficit between expenditure and revenues. All the time, revenues are there is a gap. Used to be breached by this or by the bad practice of printing press. Can you tell us about how this can be done?
Yeah, the economic environment in Sudan is very breaching environment, and preparing budget under this very breach economic environment definitely will result in negative impact on the standard of living of Sudanese people, on the job creations, unemployment, increase in the economy, will result in package of negative consequences on the economy. Because why? This budget 100% rely on the local resources and will totally exclude the foreign aid that will fill the gap in the some chapters of the budget. So local resources, as you know, suffer from many challenges and restrictions. For instance, you face the still corruption in the government, in the institutions of the economy, and very low productivity in the economy, package of political congestions in the country. These are challenges facing the budget. And as you know, the budget within very short course of time, 2 or 3 months, the budget will collapse and they will start to pay outside the budget. These are a routine practice in budget during the last 2 or 3 years in Sudan. So now preparing budget under this very tight economic condition will magnify the economic tightness in the economy, because 100% will rely on local resources. And as you know, many challenges facing these resources, especially now, even the area of production heavily affected by flood, and other area because of some security condition they failed to produce. Many in the east also you'll find some congestions. The area, different areas in country are suffering from a lack of production this year. So 100% or the budget that 100% rely on local forces definitely will not meet the requirements of development in the country. So you need foreign components that will fill the gap and support the deficit in the public accounts of the state or country, and also back the national budget in order to continue the development project and to finance even peace. The government, if refer again to make printing currencies in order to fill the gap in budget, that also will increase inflation and will take the same bridge direction. Yeah, will go to the same bridge direction. So our expectation that such budget will magnifying the economic tightness.
It will magnify the
economic tightness,
especially after the 25th of October.
Yeah.
As you know, all European countries and America and they immediately stopped their plans to assist. Although they started for 6 months before October 25th, they started some positive features. They started to appear in the economy and. Also, the taking debt of Sudan started to loom in the horizon just well before the 25th October. After the 25th October, there are people, these are very adamant. The ambassador said it, American ambassador, the Troika, everybody, they said they will not pay, although they started. Even the direct pay of Samarat for helping the needy is stopped completely. So this is very, do you think that is very, very tight situation?
Yeah, the economic tightness increased dramatically after October 25 due to stopping the foreign aid to the country, and especially the financial assistance by the international community, and the effort in order to lift the whole debt of Sudan by 2025. So these all efforts were suspended. This due to the change, what happened in Sudan during October 25. So some dramatical losses in the economy, especially resulted in the current tightness due to the political change in the country. So again, if you want to make a budget that 100% rely on the economic resources or local resources, you need to make some structural change, a structural adjustment in the economy in order to meet to finance a budget from the local resources. At least you have to stop any kind of corruptions in the finance, and you have to make new monetary and fiscal policies that
expenditure also.
Yeah.
One of the reasons to expenditure, the government expenditure.
Government expenditure should be contracted and should be declined dramatically in order to just build a government that financed by local budget, and the expenses of government should match only the local or the according to the local resources. So the expenditures of the government should be declined, should be reduced, should be contracted in order to be financed locally, because and you have to stop also most of the development projects that is will happen actually due to the lack of foreign aid. Foreign aid actually important to the development, important to finance the social protection in the society like Samarat and other social funds. So stopping foreign aid will harm the budget and will also make magnifying the deficit in budget, and will stop all the development initiatives in the country.
And I hear that is something good, I think, because the other option which you mentioned is
Yeah.
of printing notes is very detrimental and very serious in the economy.
Damaging
It will
to
not
the
reduce, it will increase the prices, it will devaluate
Yes.
the currency,
National
the
currency.
value against your proposal.
Yeah.
But sir, I think Minister of Finance Jibril is very skeptical about printing banknotes,
Yeah.
which is something good.
Yeah.
If he insists
Yeah.
on not printing, not
Yeah.
resorting to printing,
Yes.
because once you print a paper, it will be just a paper
Just a
without
paper.
coverage.
Yeah.
So this will add to the agony of the people because prices
Yeah.
will go up. That is what we
Yeah,
are saying.
yeah. I think Dr. Jibril is committed and not to print more currencies in the economy because he knows the negative
Effect.
impact and consequences. You print money in order to meet some micro problem like increasing salary, but you create macro problem in the economy. By printing money, you increase inflation. Inflation will cover all the people in the country. So you solve micro problem and you create macro problem by increasing inflation. Any economist will not advise to print more currencies in the economy. That will actually result in damaging consequences on the economy, especially printing currencies without coverage and without increasing output in the economy. So these uncovered currencies will damage the economy actually, just like forgery of currency.
Like forgery.
So, yeah, that will increase money supply and will increase inflations and will result in damaging consequences in the whole economy, national economy. So it is unadvisable to produce or to print any currency by the government. Government should invest, should go to the invest in river, in agriculture, in industry, in service, in order to increase, and also should increase the partnership with private sector. That's in order to transfer most of the expenses to the private sector. This is also one strategy that can be used by Ministry of Finance in order to cut or to reduce the government expenditure, increasing partnership with private sector in order to provide service to the people, whether health, education, other service to be provided by by private sector. So this is one way in order to relax the economic tightness in countries, stop printing currency, increasing partnership with the private sectors, and also contracting the government expenditures, which is unnecessary. They have to decline traveling delegations outside, moving or workshops, spending on unnecessary should be contracted for only the principal issues that is needed by the Ministry of Finance. Any unnecessary or luxury should be stopped during this period, and to make aggressive decision by stopping printing currencies in the economy and increasing partnership with the private sector. I think this can
This can
reduce,
be-
this
Okay, Professor Shamani Hanoun. There is also an important issue on the importers, the traders, or the industries. The who import goods. And as you know, imports are part and parcel of the economy.
balance of
If you want to measure the strength of the economy, you just weigh export and import. So, because at the same time, imports are a source of revenues, main source of revenue to the government,
definitely.
by customs and taxations. So the people in this sector are complaining that the government is not getting them involved in many drastic measures and decisions. The government, they say that it takes decision which directly affects the imports.
Their interest.
Yesterday, I read in one of the newspapers that in a report issued by Bank of Sudan that the deficit, balance of pay, the trade
Balance of
deficit
trade.
is less reduced.
Yeah.
Reduced because imports
Yes.
reduced by about 40%. People stop importing some items because the prices cannot, and because of the high money they have to pay,
Yeah.
the use and customs. So what do you think? What do you think?
This is wrong decision, by the way.
Yeah.
Creating barriers to the trade, and especially in import, stopping import. This is what we call the mercantilism theory. This is was used during 15th century in the business, in the economy, and to stop importing and to push export to the international market in order to increase surplus between export and import. This is a classical commercial theory. Cannot be used now. Now the world is opening border for trade. This is why we increase smuggling. Increase smuggling because of this decision. This is wrong decision by government. Embargo or stopping or banning imports from outside will enforce people to smuggle.
To smuggle.
Yes.
And goods are not.
And goods, and now you know markets open in the world. You cannot stop all import from around the world.
Smuggling.
World is opening market for business around the world. European Union is a market. ASEAN is a market, about 21 countries. European, about 30 countries. NAFTA in North America, about many continents. The markets are open for trades and invest and movement of people and capital as well. Banning restriction, this is what we call the classical theory in business, which is invalid today. Now government tend to apply this practice in trade, to ban import in order to increase, and this is why we decline the balance, balance of trade by 0.4. Yeah.
Yeah, in the first half of this year.
Yeah. So these policies, at the end of the day, will stop trading. People will move to the smuggling, like what happening in Boko Haram and other activities. Yeah. Any restrictions to the trade and investment today would result in increasing smuggling. So why we are calling airways crying from smuggling? Because of these government restrictions. So you have to relax the restrictions for importers to import the goods according to the international tariffs, according to the international custom duties. Not to make exorbitant tax, increasing tax, abnormal,
tax or
that harm to the economy, increasing taxes on the cars, taxes on luxuries, taxes on taxes. Taxes have damaging consequences on the economy. We have to reduce taxes to the international rate, only 5% to be paid in the seaport, not inside the economy. Inside the economy, you should not take any tax. Give chance to the business people to hunt the profit in order to realize the development. The development, unless you give incentive to the investors and the business people community, they wouldn't invest. They wouldn't create the plant, the investment, create job for people. You create unemployment in the economy. And you know industry and the importers are the engines of job. They create job in the economy. By this restriction by central bank or Ministry of Finance, actually they result in damaging impact on employment. They don't increase job for the youth. Now the president, Burhan, is talking about how to create job for youth. So now you are restricting to import the goods. Importers are the same tiny people who are creating plants and factories in the economy, these exporters. So once you stop the trade, that will stop the job creation in the economy and you increase unemployment in the economy. So restrictions harm the economy. Always we are talking about minimum barriers in trade and investment.
Minimum barriers.
Minimum, you just take the minimum. Government should give relax all restrictions on trade, on investment, give more freedom to the business people in order to hunt profit.
On the contrary, Professor, last week, they took a decision, the Minister of Finance, to stop any facilities in payment of customs. They used to have this all over the country, the world. For the importers, they give them some time and they pay 2 or 3 in installments, like, for example, this is stopped. plus also any the credential, Minister of Finance, they ask the shippers not to offload the goods
Yeah.
before the completion of the document, the paper and documents. So two are more hurdles or more on the
on trade and investment. And you know the constitution in Sudan and our constitutional documents and the 2005 constitution make very clear clause or statement that Sudan implement the free market and prohibit any kind of monopoly. This is very clearly in
Stated.
Article 10 2 in constitution mentioned. So you don't have right to make any restrictions on trade or investment. Any new hurdles or new barriers to the trade and investment would result in short-term decline on importment, but it has a damaging consequence on the future because simply you embargo, and this is called the mercantilism school of commerce. People do it during 15th century, about 500 years back. People implement this school of economic thought, the mercantilism. Stop importing and push export. If all the world they stop importing and push the world, what is the result? You don't have right to stop importing and declining the balance of trade by just banning the imports in order not to put pressure on dollars. And this is one reason why there is no increase in the dollars, because they control the imports and they stop the imports. This is the wrong policies that at the end of the day will give to the contractions and fall on the GDP of the economy.
Very clear.
The ultimate outcome
This is very clear.
will make damage on GDP of the country. And just see the figures at the end of the year. What happened to the GDP in the economy? This is harmful strategy.
drop.
Yeah, it will make drops in the economy, yes?
So what you are saying is that it is wrong to intervene or to put herder for importers.
Yes.
You are saying that the government should facilitate, should give
more freedom
to traders
and investment.
Get the money by customs,
by
taxation.
By taking the international rate, not exceeding 5%.
Yes.
Taking exorbitant tax also a damaging impact on the economy. We have to take the taxes once in the seaport. And we have to make budget according to the revenues of the government. Increasing expenditure by salaries, that will harm the whole economy.
Yes.
It is increasing salaries without increasing the output in the economy. So why you are increasing salary? There is no justification to increase salary. Now we have to target the benefits of the whole economy. We have to target to lower the taxes, to give freedom to the business people in order to import the goods and to export freely without government intervention. And also we have to take the normal rate of taxes from the Boko Haram cars and others imports from around the world. But we don't have right to ban the imports. And this is why our application to the WTO was rejected during the last 2 weeks because of these restrictions. This restriction harmed them to unemployment. Now the president yesterday talking about the youth employment. How can you create job for youth?
Is it again the philosophy of the World Trade Organization?
Something very strange, actually, amazing. Economists cannot do the work in this part. This is why we say that economists, they have rational expectation. And I don't think they're keen economists.
So do you think these people in the Ministry of Finance are not economists?
I am talking about all people.
No, I mean, why? Because something obvious, like this, it's obvious.
Yeah.
I'm not an economist, but I believe that putting a restriction on imports, definitely it will have the side effect of reducing the customs, reducing which is the custom taxation are the major contributors to the revenues of the government. From which the government pays the salaries, pays the running costs, paying the development costs. So I agree with you, because these people, they should know that
taxes usually not create development. Taxes harm the economy. The economy will grow under low rate of taxes. So by all means, we have to reduce the taxes, and we have to match the needs of government to the revenues realized, actual revenue realized according to the lower rate of taxes. With VAT should be not more than 5%. VAT taxes. This is paid once in the seaport. Inside the economy, you are not allowed to take taxes. This is the only way to accelerate the development. Once the business people hunt a lot of profit, they will launch a lot of factories and plants in the economy. Once people get profit, they work round the clock in order to activate and to
But what you are saying, something which you are saying, taxes, this taxes, direct taxes, America is living on direct taxes. Direct taxes, you are talking about the government. From where can the government get the revenues?
The government can get the revenues from indirect tax. Direct tax will harm the production. Direct tax on the production, for example, will lower the productions in the economy, and people will close down the factories and plant and stop producing.
Indirect tax like what?
Indirect tax like penalties by the traffic, by police traffic, penalty by the according to implement the law. For example, people who violate the law, they punished and they charge some money. So take money from indirect
even
tax.
business profit tax.
Business profit, okay. Once a business profit hunted some, you can take the business profit because that means sure the business realize profit.
Yeah.
Under that position, the business will continue even you take the profit. But they used to take sometimes personal income tax from people who are lower the poverty line. This will be damaging to the people. Even to stop to teaching in the universities, even against lecture, you have to pay 10% of the income to the government.
Yes.
And as you know, how much they gain from the teaching in the universities, people. They receive very lower income. So people will, that will harm the production. People will stop working in the universities because they are subject to the taxes. You have to pay taxes against any lecture.
Yes.
So that will harm the production actually. Direct tax is harmful to the development. We always encourage indirect taxes. Why? Through indirect taxes, we can implement the law. Peoples, for example, we can make clean streets. We can pay people to the parking. We make penalties by the traffic officers and police, and we enforce the law, and we get revenues to the government also, especially in a city like Khartoum. This is a source of profit for the local government to get money from the people and to implement the law and to make fines, only to pay money. So that will get money. This will not harm the production. Production will go and will be exempted, and that will increase the output at the end of the day. GDP in the economy will not be influenced by indirect taxes. Indirect taxes enforce the law and also the system in the country.
Okay. Professor, let us move to another important issue, which is about something which people really they want to know something about it. As we all know that Sudan has coastal borders, 853 kilometers in Red Sea.
Yeah.
And Red Sea is politically, it's very strategic to many countries, like
Saudi Arabia, Egypt.
America itself, Russia. They consider it as something very strategic. To them.
Strategic location.
At the same time, we have with this long border, we have only one port and other small ports, about 5 others, but for some, that is the main port. Now there is a proposal that there is a joint venture is supposed to be concluded with the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, to build a new, to establish, to construct a new airport about 200 kilometers above Port Sudan, north of Port Sudan, and this will cost about $6 billion, but definitely the revenue will be. So is it a good idea to go for this? Because people are very sensitive. I don't know why, especially in the Red Sea, because people, the politicians, they spoil their minds, these people's minds. But this port will create opportunities, job opportunities to people. It will get more money to the country because good Sudan is neighboring about 6 landlocked countries. They don't have.
I think one reason why people are sensitive to this national project because of robbing national resources of country. And people are very sensitive of such project, national project. This is, I think, one of the practice of the collapse regime of Al-Inqaz. Now, I think, I do agree that it is important to launch this seaport in Abu Amama, North Port Sudan, about 200 kilo. And I think will create a lot of economic opportunities, increasing trade, creating job for job seekers, especially in the eastern region, and also strengthen the security positions in the area, give many positive impact in the economy. So I think if the contract is transparent enough with the investment, the investors, and very transparent contract to serve the interest of the nation and to serve the interest of the country, why not? Let us launch a project. But we are worried about the hidden terms of contract. People are always reluctant and wary about such contracts which include some hidden agenda that result in damaging the whole economy. So if people ensure that the project will serve the national interest of the country, of the nation as well, I think they will accept the project. If they oppose the project, so you have to hear to their arguments, why they are rejecting the project. You should, the investors, they have to consider their arguments. You have to share the dialogue with them in order to understand why they reject to launch this seaport in the north to the Port Sudan. But for me, I think the seaport will do very great job in eastern region if we are implemented according what is mentioned in media, by $6 billion. That seaport will link the continent of Africa with the Asian continent.
Yes.
And will increase the trade volume dramatically in Sudan, because this is represent gateway to the whole Africa, not to the Sudan, to the whole Africa. Needless to repeat, during Delhi summit, they mentioned clearly Sudan will be gateway to the Africa, especially during Port Sudan. So people in the eastern region, they have to study the case and they have to share the discussion with the investors. My advice is to them not to reject the project, but they have to make the terms and contract to ensure that project will serve the interest of the whole country and the interest of the eastern regions as well, and to be a national project for all Sudanese.
So you think it's something good?
Something
good.
Good.
The only thing which needed is transparency.
Transparency, yeah.
People should be well informed about all steps of this port, and the government of Sudan should definitely be involved in the operation.
Definitely.
If there is any corruption or any wrongdoing or any
hidden
harmful agenda, it will be done through the management of the port.
Yes.
So the port, I'm sure this will be included. The port should be, the Sudan has full control or shared control of the operation, managing the operation of the port, so that. But as an idea, it's something good.
Yes.
It will bring a lot of money to Sudan.
Opportunities.
Because it will the goods, the quantity of goods will not come to Sudan only, to come to the neighboring landlocked
countries in Africa.
Yeah. So the idea in
is a good
essence,
idea. Yes.
In essence, it's good.
Yeah. But we need more to ensure that the idea will serve the interest of the people and interest of the country, and the contract should be very transparent.
So the people should be enlightened, well enlightened before that, because of the rejection, because it is definitely something good. Nobody can reject.
Yeah, this is, I think, one of the infrastructure projects important for development. Yeah.
Once this was done, also this might incite others to go for building railroads.
Definitely,
interstate,
railways also
from Sudan to different countries in West Africa.
Yeah. I think the seaport, railways, airports, these are infrastructure projects. They definitely will accelerate the development.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us move to something which is very interesting. I talked to it, Wormy talked to it about it. We heard that the government of Khartoum State is trying to have some some rehabilitation or some new project on the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Infrastructure means roads
Yeah.
or transport,
Yeah.
like the metro, and bridges, all of this. But they don't have the money. They want to resort to what we all, you know it, that's what we had,
Yeah.
to the boot,
Yeah.
the boot method, build,
Build,
own,
operate,
operate, and
transfer.
transfer. Means somebody should come
Yeah.
to build the thing for you. Let us say a metro,
Yeah.
covering the national capital cities, the three cities,
Yeah.
by a metro.
Yeah.
They build
Yes.
and operate for a
Operate.
certain time until they get their money and their profit,
Yes.
and transfer it to
the owner.
government of Khartoum.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, is this something good, the boot
Yeah,
system?
for sure. This is a smart solution. And I think this is innovative finance solution. This is a good approach to deal with the development. In development theory, actually, we have wide range of source of finance. Basically, we have two sources, either to be equity or debt financing for development.
Yes.
So the both system is a very smart way to finance the development project. The government should offer the infrastructure project to an investor and sign agreement that investor will build the project and operate the project, and after a given period of time, the ownership will be transferred to the government.
The government.
So the both system is a well-known mechanism of financing development and will accelerate, because financing development can take different tracks, different ways. Both is a one way to finance the development in country, especially during this economic tightness.
Yes.
Government has no money in order to finance the project. So the both system can be widen the scope of work to include other infrastructure projects in country. For example, railways, the new trains and metro, the bridges. Any other similar development project or infrastructure project can be financed through both system. And many investors in world, they have idle cash. They want to invest in any project that realize profits. So both system, I think, is a smart solution, an innovative solution to finance the development projects in Khartoum state.
Especially when you don't have money.
Yeah, once you don't have money.
No other alternative.
You have only the land, and you have the regulations as a government. You can, this is, I think, most ideal way to finance the project in the economy. And I hope that this will be widened in order to include the other infrastructure project, river, transport, tourism, hotels. All projects can be financed by boats, and especially Turkish is very active in boat system also. They used to finance both after feasibility study of projects, and just you have to prepare a very articulated feasibility study and make a very clear decision about the boats, because both heavily rely on the rewards of projects, cash flow from the project in order to cover the installments. So both system is a very smart way to finance development project, and this will accelerate and make faster the growth through both system. Also, you can make government bonds in the localities. You collect money from the rich people, wealthy people, make project that will, you can hunt profit from the profits of the project. Let us, for example, you can build hotel from the people of the area, and you can pay back money from the cash flow hunted from hotel in any locality or any part of the country. So these are some innovative solutions.
So the idea of the boot is
a good idea.
But it has to be transparent and people should know about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let us, because it seems that we are running short of time, because we promised that we'll talk about this, how to
just one thing more, we can add also government bonds, especially for development. Besides, this is another tool for development. Government can issue
this was done
bonds.
This like Shahama government bonds.
Yeah, but this development fund, this is by localities. Localities under supervision of central bank can issue these bonds. These bonds especially for development. If the localities want to make any infrastructure project, they can collect money from the wealthy individual in the area against profit. and they build the project, and from the project they can pay back to
By
the
bonds.
people. Yeah, by bonds.
Okay, okay.
Government
Let us
bonds.
move to our last issue.
Okay.
This is concern many people, and many people are alarmed that there is a controversy in the whole issue about the military corporations working with the military. The military, they are involved in about 200. They say, I'm not sure, but they say about 200 of the companies which are dealing or competing with other traditional traders. Or so people they think that this should go back to the military, should concentrate only on what is military actually.
Yeah.
Other issues should be
Civil.
Civil should be returned to the government or to the private sector.
Yeah.
What do you think of this issue,
I think,
this debate?
yeah, it depends. I think it is important that to deal with the project from the economic point of view, not from the political point of view. And I think that once the project succeeds under any environment, we have to consider the factors of the success factors of that project.
Yes.
The political parties in Sudan, do they have a map how to manage this project for the interest of people and to realize the same success by the military? This is the questions. People are worried about the collapse of this project. This is one thing. Number two, that the military should focus on only what is military. The civil should go to the civil.
The people.
To the people, yeah. And I think that the ideal form to transfer ownership from military to the civil is a joint stock company. Joint stock company is the ideal form of ownership. This 100% private will fail, 100% government will fail, but joint stock is a hybrid form between government and the private sector. So the civil institutions or corporations should take the form of joint stock company if they were planning to succeed. Joint stock companies, that means partnership between private and public sector. And civils institution should go to the civil. The military should remain with only the military component. As this I think we mentioned several times. Unless to take decision in this issue, it still will remain debatable.
Debatable, yes.
So as you withdraw from politics, you are required to withdraw from these companies in order to give chance to the
that's very good,
source.
Professor Sammani Hanoun. We are very happy. We covered a lot of important issues. And so we hope to see you next week and talk about another episode about a political solution to the current upheaval. Thank you, dear viewers, for being with us in the last hour. We hope to see you next week in a different issue, hopefully with a new government form. Bye.